We have all heard strange sounds from time to time, sounds we could not identify or explain. Sometimes they may be so loud that they wake us up from our sleep, and other times they may be so faint we wonder if we actually heard anything at all. A man who wished to remain anonymous was hanging out with his friends in an abandoned hospital when he heard a blood-curdling scream. He couldn't believe it. They were the only ones in the building. The country has thousands of abandoned homes and buildings that have been left empty for years. These buildings are often in a state of disrepair and are said to be haunted by the ghosts of those who once lived or worked there. One of the most famous of these places is the Narosawa Complex, a group of abandoned buildings near Mount Fuji. The complex was once a thriving community, but after the nearby highway was rerouted, the town was effectively cut off from the outside world and became a ghost town. In some parts of Africa, there are caves that are said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died inside them. There are many different theories. Some believe that these sounds are the result of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a condition in which a person is aware but unable to move or speak while falling asleep or upon waking. If it is simply a case of sleep paralysis, then the best thing to do is to relax and try to focus on your breathing. It will pass quickly and you will be able to move and speak again. Or would you simply try to ignore it and hope that it would go away? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. If, however, you truly believe that the sounds are coming from beyond the grave, then it is up to you what to do. Some people may choose to ignore the sounds and pretend they're not there, while others may attempt to communicate with the spirits. Whatever you do, be sure to stay safe. Don't go investigating in the dark or moving objects that could potentially fall on you. It can be a frightening experience, but it is harmless. One of the most famous cases is that of Harry Houdini, the legendary magician and escape artist. Houdini was a skeptic when it came to spiritualism, but he was willing to keep an open mind. He even hosted in his home in an attempt to contact his mother, who had died several years earlier. However, he soon became frustrated by the false mediums who were preying on grieving families. Eventually, he made a public challenge, offering $1,000 to anyone who could successfully contact his mother. Unfortunately, no one was ever able to meet his challenge, and Houdini died believing that there was no such thing as talking to the dead. Others believe that these sounds are actually the voices of loved ones trying to contact us from beyond the grave. This is, of course, a much more romantic notion, but unfortunately, there is no evidence to support it. Still, it's a comforting thought to know that our loved ones are always with us, even if we can't see or hear them. One of the most famous of these caves is the Kakum National Park in Ghana. Would you try to communicate with them? Or would you simply enjoy the fleeting moment of connection? Perhaps the most intriguing theory is that these sounds are actually the voices of those who have passed on, trying to warn us of danger. This is certainly a scary thought, but again, there is no evidence to support it. However, there have been many cases throughout history of people hearing voices that turned out to be true. For example, there was the case of Helen Acton Smith, a British woman who began hearing the voice of a little girl crying for help. At first, she dismissed the voice as figment of her imagination, but eventually she followed it and discovered a young girl who had fallen down a well. The park contains a series of caves that are said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died there during the slave trade. Visitors to the park have reported hearing strange chanting and drumming, as well as seeing apparitions and feeling cold spots. Visitors to the area have reported hearing voices, footsteps, and other strange noises, as well as seeing apparitions and feeling cold spots. As soon as the scream echoed through the hallway, his heart started racing. The park was abandoned in 2007 after the local government decided to focus on other redevelopment projects. Since then, it has fallen into disrepair and become overgrown with weeds. However, some say that the park is still haunted by the spirits of those who worked there when it was open. Visitors have reported hearing strange music and laughter, as well as seeing the ghosts of employees going about their daily routines. Since then, it has become a popular destination for thrill seekers and urban explorers looking for a good scare. Some visitors have reported hearing the screams of children on the abandoned roller coasters and seeing the shadows of families picnicking on the grassy knolls. Was it a ghost? Then he heard footsteps approaching them. They ran away as fast as they could, but the footsteps followed them. In Singapore, there is an abandoned hospital known as the Changi General Hospital. It was abandoned in 1997 after the government decided to consolidate healthcare services in one location. Since then, it has become a popular spot for urban exploration. Many who have explored the hospital have reported hearing voices, footsteps, and other strange noises. Some have even claimed to have seen the ghosts of patients and staff members wander in the halls. They were now running for their lives, but then the footsteps stopped. Maybe it was just their imagination. They had never run so fast, though. They didn't dare look back. When they finally stopped and turned around, they saw the door to the hospital wide open in the distance. They had left it closed before going in, but now it was wide open. Strange noises can be unsettling and frightening, especially when we cannot figure out where they are coming from. Many people report hearing voices, whispers, knocks, and footsteps, only to find no one else around them. So what exactly are these strange sounds, and why do some people hear them while others don't? Let's find out! Have you ever heard strange voices when you were all alone? If yes, then this story is for you. Is there something really scary behind that door? There are many places in the world that are said to be haunted. Some of them are well known, such as the Amityville Horror House in New York or the Tower of London. And then there are others that are lesser known but just as creepy. Abandoned houses are probably the most popular type of haunted place. Who doesn't love a good old abandoned house story? We hear about them all the time. But how true are they? Can you really get murdered in your own home or even die simply by walking into one? Here are some terrifying tales of hauntings from all over the world. Many say there are places in Japan where you can hear voices in the dark. In South Korea, there is an abandoned amusement park known as the Jinhae Hanbat Arboretum. Another abandoned amusement park in South Korea is the Moon Park in Busan. It was abandoned in 2006 after failing to attract enough visitors. But abandoned amusement parks aren't the only places where you might hear voices in the dark. It isn't just abandoned buildings where you might hear voices in the dark. So what exactly are these strange sounds? Are they just figments of our imagination? Or is there something more to them? But what if you could hear them? What would you do? So what should you do if you hear strange sounds in the darkness? There have been many instances throughout history where people have tried to contact the spirits of loved ones and have ended up regretting it. If you were to hear a voice in the darkness, would you try to investigate?